I bought this vintage Apple employee's jacket using a tool known in the rap world as the internet. It's going to be huge this year.
Almost all the best rappers are from the hood. Why? Because that was where the rap parties were held. Actually, in the rap industry, it's praised to have come from the hood. But it doesn't really mean that all of the rappers out there have the same history. Yet some have lied about their origins, so let's see the rappers that faked being from the hood. Number 4. Drake. These days, Drake is almost more myth than a man. Despite his amazing skills and talents, this guy has nothing to do with the hood. He was born into the world with not the best of circumstances. Drake was raised by biracial parents who divorced when he was 5. His father, Dennis Graham, is a Catholic African-American. His mother, Sandra, is white and Ashkenazi Jewish-Canadian. They have a very deep musical background. His grandma even used to babysit Louis Armstrong, and his dad was a drummer for Jerry Lee Lewis. But he still says this: "I'm aware that I'm not the first person in the family to embrace music, but I'd like to become the first one to be an icon."
And yeah, I just don't enjoy it. It's not an enjoyable experience for me, and I don't like any of you.
He said that growing up for him was very poor, like broke, despite spending some of his adolescence in the affluent neighborhood of Forest Hill. "I grew up on Weston Road. That's near the west end of the city. It's not the nicest area in the world. I grew up there and I moved to Forest Hill in the 6th grade. So I didn't grow up in Forest Hill. My mother happens to be a Jewish woman. She wanted the best for her family. She found us a half of a house we could live in. It wasn't big, it wasn't luxurious, it was what we could afford." Even though Drake might have a totally different image these days, we still remember him as Jimmy Brooks in Degrassi: The Next Generation. The show was our introduction to the artist, raising his profile and opening doors that would lead to him becoming the star he is right now. Drake was a part of the series from its debut in 2001 when he was 14 up until the 8th season, which ran from 2008 to 2009.
I like to sing. The snow glows white on the mountain tonight, not a footprint to be seen.
But later, when Drake was kicked off after executives learned he'd been doing music on the side, he was fully able to focus on his music career. He released 3 mixtapes before landing a deal with Lil Wayne's label Young Money in 2009. From there, he started appearing on several features before dropping his debut album, Thank Me Later, in 2010. Since then, he has released 4 more albums and has sold over 100 million records worldwide. So, in the world of hip-hop, it's not outlandish to identify the acquisition of wealth as a motivator, nor is it particularly odd to claim mythical status in one's hometown. Number 3. Travis Scott. Before he was a household name as Kylie Jenner's boyfriend and the father of their child, Travis Scott was known as a rapper on the rise. Born Jacques Webster, Travis Scott grew up in a middle-class suburb of Houston and began making music as a teenager. But he used to stay with his grandmother in the hood from ages 1 to 6. His mom worked for Apple and his dad owned his own business, and he lived in Houston most of his life until he was 19. Growing up, my grandmother stayed in the hood, so I've seen random crazy shit. I saw mad bums and crazy spazzed out motherfuckers. I saw people looking weird, hungry, and grimy. I was always like, I gotta get the fuck out of this shit. It gave me my edge. It made me who I am right now. I was living in South Park. It's like another one of those famous places, but it's not like the 3rd Ward. The 3rd Ward got kinda good. 3rd Ward got big-ass houses now. They're switching it up. I was always around there. My parents didn't want me to really go through that shit. 3rd Ward and 5th Ward, real shit happened there. They're on some like Chicago shit. People were dying not because of gunshots, but lean overdose. That's why you see these people rapping about Lean Man like, man, you don't know shit about that shit. People dying on that shit, man. Once I moved to the suburbs, I adapted to where I was growing up. I adapted to suburban culture, fresh culture, and diversity. I'm big on diversity. My music is very diverse. I don't ever want it to be typecasted, he said. Once he realized that the suburb was simply a crime-ridden place, he knew he had to get out, so he went and later lived with his parents. With the help of their support, Travis not only got out of the danger zone, but he went and attended high school and graduated at 17. Later, he even went to college for a while, which is something most rappers don't do. Well, it seems that he came from the streets in one way, but unlike many others, he was able to get away. Number 2. Eminem. Eminem might be the best-selling, a global star, and one of the greatest rappers ever, but when it comes to the hoods in Detroit, people are not rocking with Slim Shady anymore. Despite being associated with Detroit more than just about any other major rapper, and him actually living there right now, he actually was not born there. In interviews, Eminem has stated that he grew up on the wrong side of 8 Mile, meaning the Detroit side. But the many biographical records out there show that he moved to the Detroit area with his mother when he was 12 and went to school in Macomb County. Eminem attended Dort Elementary School in Roseville and Lincoln High School in Warren, which is a predominantly white community less than a mile from the famous divide of 8 Mile Road. Eminem dropped out of high school after failing the 9th grade for the third time in 1989 and worked at Gilbert's Lodge in St. Clair Shores in Macomb County, where he would often perform until 1998.
We now know you a lot better.
I hope so. I hope I cleared the air about a lot of things. I mean,
While exactly where he lived as a child is disputed, he did grow up poor and moved around a lot like his character Jimmy Smith Jr. in 8 Mile. He also struggled to break into rap as a white artist, hustling his music to record stores in Roseville and Warren and participating in rap battles at famous Detroit hip-hop venues. Number 1. 6ix9ine. Most likely you've heard a lot about 6ix9ine, and for good reasons and bad. 6ix9ine, also known as Tekashi 6ix9ine, developed a unique persona as a hardcore rapper with an aggressively tattooed face and rainbow-dyed hair. His rise to fame and fortune has been highly controversial. His poverty-stricken childhood was traumatic, and as an adult, his rap sheet is horrific. Born in 1996, he grew up in Bushwick, Brooklyn, New York, and was raised by a Mexican mother and Puerto Rican father. His father was murdered in 2009, and he was expelled from school in the 8th grade. After that, he did not further his education. He said he stopped going to school just because he wanted to help his mom pay the rent, and he started to sell marijuana to help support his mother and brother. At around that time, he developed his 6ix9ine persona, drawing inspiration from anime, hip-hop, and metal. He eventually got the number 6ix9ine tattooed on his body more than 200 times. In 2014, 6ix9ine began rapping on a whim. I started rapping for fun, to be honest with you. I didn't really want to be a rapper or whatever, I just started making music because everyone was like, yo, you look mad cool. During that time, he begins releasing scream rap music under the Slovakia-based label Fuck Them, including Scum Life, Yokai, and Helsing Station, and featuring anime in his music videos. He establishes the 6ix9ine persona, describing it as a lifestyle. He decided to join a street gang known as 9 Trey Gangsters, and his goal of getting with them was very simple. He wanted their power and influence to try and get himself a rap career, and in return, he'd give them cash. They welcomed Tekashi into the group, and for a while everything seemed to be going great. But then they got arrested. He has pleaded guilty to 9 crimes, saying he joined a violent New York City gang and helped others try to kill a rival gang member. During the plea, 6ix9ine said he joined the 9 Trey Blood gang in fall of 2017 and helped gang members try to kill a rival. I did this to maintain or increase my own standing in 9 Trey, he told Judge Paul A. Engelmeyer. He said he also knew that another member of 9 Trey had a gun and discharged that gun. The rapper said he also helped other gang members rob people at gunpoint as part of a pledge by new gang members to commit at least 2 crimes. He apologized to the court, to anyone who was hurt, to his family, friends, and fans for what he's done and who he's let down. Which is your favorite rapper from the hood? Let us know in the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on your post notifications so you never miss a video from us. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. See you in the next video, and thanks for watching.